Hi, welcome back. Eat like the Renons. So today is a little less about what we put in our bodies and a little bit more about what we avoid. So specifically today, we're talking about water and tap water. So if you know anything about Garrett and I, we avoid tap water. And why is that, Garrett?
There are a lot of reasons why, but one of the big reasons is fluoride.
So here, little disclaimer, you're going to get into one of our first conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Bear with us. Might sound a little bit crazy, but when you do your own research, you'll find we've got reason to be concerned. So we all know fluoride's supposed to be good for our teeth, but what is the literature out there saying as far as the validity of that claim?
Well, that's a little confusing. I mean, there definitely seems to be some evidence when it's applied topically to your teeth that it actually helps tooth decay. However, there's a lot of evidence that shows that this stuff is very toxic. And in fact, it's so toxic that many European countries have actually removed it from their water.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of municipalities are just making the decision not to put fluoride in their water any longer, that they're actually removing it. So where does fluoride come from?
Well, so fluoride comes from, it's a toxic byproduct. I mean, it occurs naturally. It's actually in the periodical table of elements. That doesn't necessarily mean it's safe, but basically where we get most of our fluoride is byproducts from a lot of industrial processes such as mining, fertilizers, and all kinds of other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a hard one to wrap our brain around because we've been told to use fluoride since we were a little kid on our teeth and tap water's safe. And everybody tells the anecdotal story about how the Europeans have bad teeth and Americans have good teeth, and it's all due to fluoride. But we're saying don't do it. So, okay, we get it. Maybe we should just put on our teeth topically and not take it, ingest it. But what's the worst that can happen? I mean, so maybe it's not that effective. Are there bad side effects to fluoride?
Well, there are. But first, I wanted to address something. So we talked about some European countries are removing it from their water.
Mm-hmm.
And so the World Health Organization actually did a study, and they showed that tooth decay has been on a decline in both fluorinated countries and non-fluorinated countries. These are the countries that put it into their water and countries that have removed it. And you will see, we're going to put this up, that all these countries, no matter if they have fluoride in the water or if they don't have fluoride in the water, we're seeing a decay or a decline in tooth decay. So
the factor isn't fluoride. The factor is maybe health or tooth care or just awareness or just brushing, manually cleaning it. It's not necessarily the chemicals or compounds that we put on our teeth or ingest.
Well, right. And we're over fluorinated. It's a hard word to say. Over fluorinated. We have fluoride in our toothpaste. If you buy traditional toothpaste, you have fluoride.
And there's a warning on there that says you're not supposed to ingest it. You're supposed to spit it out.
So you eat your toothpaste, you better call poison control, but yet somehow we put this in our water.
Mm-hmm.
It's in mouthwash, same thing. You drink mouthwash, you better call poison control. So it's in our water, it's in our toothpaste, and it's in our mouthwash. So
and your body absorbs it. It's not just something that comes in through ingestion. If you're taking a shower, you're getting exposed to that fluoride as well. And some people even say in a higher dose because your skin just absorbs everything.
Yeah, this is actually one thing we have not done yet, but it's something we're going to move on to, looking at filters for your shower and stuff like that. But they actually say showering, the steam, and a lot of that stuff is even, worse.
Okay, so we've got all this exposure, and how does the body handle it? So what are the side effects if we talked about that doesn't really help with my teeth?
Yeah, so there are a lot of side effects, and some of the big ones are it goes into your bones where it's stored, so that leads to brittle bones and even arthritis. One of the other things about this, and here's the other problem too, is this is a form, one of the reasons you should be concerned is this is a form of mass medication. And this is what should make people angry, because any other medication you get, ideally they should take into consideration your age, your height, your weight, allergies, any of these things. These are common things that a good doctor should do, but yet there is no dosaging information for fluoride. It's just in your water, in your toothpaste, and it's everywhere. But I actually have a list. There's a book called A Case Against Fluoride, and it's by Dr. Garett. And so one of the things you just asked about the side effects. Well, first, it's not needed for any biochemical process in the body. If you're a parent, it is highly prevalent in baby formula, so that's really bad. And then the big thing is brain drain. This is the big thing. So there's a lot of things about fluoride that where it damages your brain. And in fact, in 2006, Harvard School of Public Health did a study that said that just added fluoride to a list of neurotoxins that damages brain health. Mm-hmm. So it damages your hippocampus, among other things, which plays a major role in short-term and long-term memory. And most importantly, it affects your pineal gland. This, as your yoga hippie teacher will probably tell you, is your third eye, okay? And this third eye releases melatonin, serotonin, and even DMT. And many people say that the pineal gland basically is responsible for you. It is literally your soul.
So this is kind of where that conspiracy part kind of talks about, if you kind of connect the dots, you talk about mass medication through a municipal water system, and you talk about pacifying a population. We won't go into the details there. We won't speculate there, but you do have to heed the warnings that we're saying that the side effects for fluoride are real. How we got here, whether it was a good approach at one time and more science has come out and proven it to be otherwise, who cares why we're here? Let's not even focus on that. Let's just focus on how now do we get the fluoride out of our system, since we recognize that we want to minimize our exposure to this compound.
Right. And I'll give you some really good ways to do that. And just one more thing on the conspiracy side of it, though. Because, we love good conspiracies. The other big issue about this that no one really talks about, or I should say no one's concerned about, is this is one of those slippery slope arguments. Because fluoride is technically a medicine and it's put into our water. So you have to ask yourself, if we allow this is where the slippery slope argument comes in, where does it stop? Mm-hmm. And so I was doing a little bit of research and I came across that AstraZeneca, a major pharmaceutical, actually lobbied Congress in 2006, I believe, 2008, to put statins into our public water.
And what's statins?
And statins are basically to help with your cholesterol. So they were trying.
And they're very controversial, right?
Oh yeah, these things can destroy your hormones, but that's something that could be a topic for another day. But this was something that was brought up. Luckily, it got shot down. At least we think it did.
Enough to make it into the news articles, right? That it actually got some time, some discussion time, is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I know, way back when, if they talked about putting any form of birth control in our water, people would freak out because it's interfering with our rights as not only Americans, but as human beings. And so, like you said, it's a slippery slope when you start putting medication in, when you start dosing people, maybe not necessarily against their will, but without their knowledge or without their consent, then you really have to wonder. And I think that that's the whole takeaway from this is, one of the things that we're trying to do with this program in general is bring your awareness and bring your knowledge up so that you can make those informed choices, so that you can decide what you want to put in your body and make informed decisions. And the same is true for tap water or for anything else. So it's just something to be aware of. It's not, oh my goodness, freak out. I mean, yeah, maybe you should and write to your city council member because it's by municipality. So if you're not on a well, consider writing to your city council and say, let's stop putting fluoride in our water. But be aware. That's the key point here.
Yeah, for sure. And so here's some of the simplest fixes you can do. The one thing is any major health food store, Whole Foods, PCC, Central Market, they tend to have some water that the big whatever water containers. You can fill these up in glass containers. We talked about BPA before and BPS, but these specifically at the grocery store we go to, it has a whole thing that it says fluoride is not in the water and it tastes good. But if you are, there's a website called findaspring.com. And if you happen to live, they're all over the place. We live in the Pacific Northwest, and there is one right in the city of Linwood, which is just a couple miles north, about 20 miles north of Seattle. And this is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is some of the best water I've ever tasted. And so I did some research and spring water, what is it? Basically what it is it's water that is trapped way down in an aquifer, so far down in the Earth's core and crust that chemicals in our top water has not yet reached down, has not seeped down. It is. And so when it comes out, and you'll see a little video of us actually at the place in Linwood, when it's coming out of those spigots, that is the first time it is exposed to this environment. Mm-hmm. So that is the cleanest, purest water you can get, and trust me, you tasted it, right? Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good.
So a couple key points on that. If you're going to get a big water jug, we started with the small ones and we've upgraded to the big ones. Any of your home brewing places, that's the place to get them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Amazon's got a lot of good stuff, but support your local businesses. Head over to one of those home brewing stores and you can pick up a nice big jug to fill up with water. Also, you talked a little bit about fluoride being in everything as far as toothpaste products or tooth care products. What do you recommend that folks cut out the fluoride in their tooth care?
You know, we're trying to cut as much fluoride out as we can. In fact, I've been telling people this story and no one's had the same experience, so this could be why I'm a little odd. I specifically remember in 3rd grade on Wednesdays, I think it was every other Wednesday, they would bring in trays of fluoride and we would drink it, swish it around, and spit it out. So I was getting this in school on top of everywhere else. I think it was only for a year or two. So I feel like I've got enough fluoride. And what is the toothpaste we use?
Dr. Harry's. Or Uncle Harry.
Uncle or doctor, but the guy's name's Harry. And we'll try to put a photo of it in the video, or we'll pass it along. But this toothpaste, let me tell you, my teeth have never felt cleaner. Mm-hmm. Never felt cleaner. So I've used other natural toothpaste before, and I tend to always go back to Colgate or something because the other natural toothpastes never did it for me. But this one is the real deal.
So if you guys have any questions about what products we use, or where you can find a spring, or where you can find a glass jug, head over to teamrenon.com/questions, and we'd be happy to answer those for you. Thank you.
Hi, we're at findaspring.com. There's a spring in Linwood for fresh spring water. So it's on 164th Street, right east of the highway. Anyway, we can fill up some gallon jugs and see what this fresh water is all about. So if you like this content, please share it with your friends. And of course, we are always open to feedback and or any questions. So thank you. And once again, good luck on this 21-day journey.